This is the SpiderControl WebHMI tutorial showing how to install the web server on the ctrlX PLC, the HMI editor on your PC, and to create a first user interface. First of all, you have to download all the components that you require. You go to the SpiderControl.net website, switch to the download section, and download the editor. We will not show the rest of the installation in detail, as this is pretty much standard. You just go through the setup. Next thing is to go to the SpiderControl section to find the correct link to the ctrlX store, which directly will bring you to the section where SpiderControl is available from the Bosch store. You can switch to this Get Now link, which will lead you to this place here where you can download the installation file called .app extension. You can store it on your PC for later use. We will then switch to the web server of the PLC. You have to enter the IP address of your ctrlX PLC to open up the management pages, which looks like this. Then you go to settings, to apps, and you have to switch to the service mode in order to install a new application. You can now switch this, go to install from file and choose this app file, which we have just downloaded, open it, and now the installation will start. And you can continue by finishing the installation. After that is done, you can go back to operation mode. And so this will now start the web server. The web server can be found on the port 6123. So if you see this picture, this is the standard page of the web server. If later on you will buy a license, you will receive a license file from Bosch, which can be installed here. The demo version will run for 1 or 2 hours in a fully operational mode. Now we change to the HMI editor. You create a new project. Give the project a name. The project type must be of type SpiderControl web server. It's not a SCADA, it's directly a web server project which will connect to the PLC using this data layer interface. So you will just create a folder for this demo project and go through all the steps of this wizard. You can define a default size for your HMI. You can define the refresh period in which the HMI, the variables will be updated. You can add a couple of pages automatically, use multi-layer mode, add multi-language capability, and so the wizard will now create you a couple of files. Next, we will have to switch to the Codesys project. So from here we will import the variable list, which has the name something device application, and you have to copy this file to the working directory of our HMI editor and to remove all of the dots which are inside the name, because our editor doesn't like this. Now you go to project configuration, change to Codesys 3 XML import, choose that file without the dots, and we're now able to import the variable names. Click OK, press parse variable list. This will read in all the variables. We can now go to the first page of our project and just add a simple edit field control. We can change to, we can open the variable list selector and choose a first variable and choose a second. So the second will be an array as an example, and we will have to modify the index to the array. So indicate a reasonable index 0 in this case. We can now press the build and download function. We will change to HTTP download, enter again the address of the PLC and as well as the port number of the SpiderControl SCADA server or web server. That's again 6123. Then we can connect to our web server and download all of the HMI files. So now the project is available on the PLC, and we can now use a browser and enter the URL to our user interface. So the page was called plcsample.html. This will load the HTML5 script, and we see that we now have access to variables of the PLC. So this is basically a hello world from SpiderControl.